In this module, we're going to learn how to create and edit contacts and the associated users in the application built with the CHT using the default contact creation forms. This will help you get familiar with the user interface of the web app, as well as some of the features and functionality. If you're already comfortable with this, you can skip to the second part of this section, which covers manipulating contacts and the associated documents using CHT configurer. A brief overview of key concepts. Contacts are people or places that are created in the CHT application. People are both patients in the system. They can be users of the system, such as community health workers or nurses or supervisors of community health workers. Places represent either an actual physical location, such as a health facility, a clinic, or a grouping, such as a household, a CHW area, or a community health unit. Contact forms are forms in the CHT application that are used to create people or places. The CHT app hierarchy is often modeled after the health system, health program, or community structure. All people who are registered in the app must be associated with a place. These places are located in a hierarchy with other places. For instance, a family member who's at this lower level is part of a household, and a household is part of a CHW area that has a CHW as a primary contact. Additional levels could exist above the CHW area. In this case, CHW areas belong to a health facility, and at the health facility, there is a CHW supervisor as a primary contact. And overseeing the whole model is the administrative level that has a program officer that would be able to see all the information, all the data, and make decisions based on activities and other indicators that are at the lower levels. So users represent credentials and roles or permissions for accessing the application. This can either be people who log into the application, such as CHWs or nurses, or credentials granting external software restricted permissions to perform certain tasks, such as allowing an external service permission to write reports via the API. Now that we've gone through an overview of the key concepts, and we have our instance set up, we're now ready to begin creating and adding contacts and users to the CHT application. In this video, we'll work with the default contact forms and the default hierarchy, which is what was illustrated in the previous video. While logged in as an admin user, we'll first create a health facility, and then we'll create a CHW area and a CHW. And finally, we'll create a CHW supervisor who will be linked to the health facility. We'll then create a user for the CHW so that they can log in and create households and household members. So first, I'll log in as the admin user. And once logged in, I'll go to the People tab, and I'll see an option to add a new health facility. So I'll just select that option. And within this form, you'll see three options: to create a new person as part of the process of creating a new health facility, to select an existing person, or to skip this step. So I'll skip this step for demonstration purposes. And then I'll give the health facility a name. And I'll submit. the form. This will create the new health facility. And if I look at the left side, I'll see it listed there. And the right side will give me the details of the facility. Once I've selected a place or facility, I'll get an option to add a new area and a new person, to edit or to delete. So I'll go to new area. And for this process, I want to create a new person as who will be the primary contact of the area. And I'll give them a name. I can select either their date of birth, or if I'm not too sure about their date of birth, give an approximate number of years. I could also add their phone number, alternate phone number, and a few more details about them. If I go next, I'll get an option to either name the place after the primary contact or name it manually. In this case, I want to name it after the primary contact, and so I'll just submit the form. So this will create the area, and we'll create a primary contact for this area at the same time. So now we have our CHW area, we have our CHW, and they belong to the facility that I created. So one last step we want is to have a primary contact for this facility. And so I'll select the facility, and within the facility, create a new person. Again, I could put the actual date of birth or an approximate number of years. And a few more details about them. And submit. So you'll see that this creates the new person. They get a medic ID. You can see a few more details about them. However, if I go back to the facility, I'll see that the person is created, but they don't have the star that indicates that they are primary contact. So what I want to do next is to make this person the primary contact within this health facility. And to do that, I'll select the facility, edit, and select the primary contact. I still want to name the facility manually or retain the name that I had given it. So I'll just submit this edit form. And we'll now see that this person has become the primary contact for this facility. So the last step in this process is to create a user for the CHW that we created. And to do that, I'll go to the hamburger menu on the side. I'll go to App Management. On the left-hand side, I'll select Users, and I'll select Add New User. I'll give the user the username that they'll use to log into the application. I'll select the first initial and the last name. I'll also add their full name, email address if they have one, phone number if they have one. I can also select the default language that they'll use when they log in. I'll select their role, the CHW. I'll also select the place they'll be linked to, which is their area. I'll select the associated contacts, And this is a CHW who's the primary contact for that area. And then I'll select the password that they'll use to log in. I'll add the user. So I can go back to my application and then log out and try to log in as a user that I've just created. So since I'm logging in for the first time, I'll get the tour. I'll just cancel that. And I'll go to the People tab. And from here, I'll see that my view has changed. And since I'm a CHW, what I see is my area. And I will also be able to see households within my area. And on the right, I'll get options to add new households and new people. And so that's how to go about adding users and contacts using the administrator console. And in the next video, we'll go through how to use CHT conf to add users.